Hello buddies, again Guillotine here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Sunraku from Shangri-La Frontier. Last weekend, I binge-watched this anime, Season 1. I binge-watched the entire thing in 2 days. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really cool show, and there was one fight in this show in particular that is genuinely one of the best fights I have seen in recent anime. Like, probably the best fight I've seen in modern anime since the Daki and Gyuro fight from Demon Slayer Season 2. Absolutely jaw-droppingly incredible first season of this anime. I really loved it. I loved damn near everything about it. Loved the story, loved the characters. Again, that fight, one of the best fights I've seen in recent years. And the music as well, absolutely amazing. The openings in this show are so fucking awesome. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And of course, I knew that this figure came out a while ago, so I immediately, upon finishing it, went and picked up this figure. And I actually found it for a very good price. So, and yeah, I picked it up. And of course, I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's SH Figuarts. The figure is fantastic. It's honestly absolutely fantastic. But what's the fun in just saying the figure's fantastic? Let's review this bird boy. And start off by taking a look at the packaging right here. So here's the packaging for SH Figuarts Sunraku. We have Sunraku on the front, Bandai Tamashii Nations seal of approval right there. We have a Kodansha sticker right there. Really cool. I like how reflective it is. And please, Kodansha, have these guys make some Tensora figures, man. Oh my god, an SH Figuarts Tensora line would be fucking awesome. Imagine an SH Figuarts Shion or Veldora or Malim. God, that'd be freaking amazing. But we have Shangri-La Frontier, SH Figuarts. We have Sunraku right here. On the other side, we have Sunraku in those same kind of gaming letters right there. We have an awesome picture of Sunraku. On the back, we have a bunch of product shots of Sunraku right there, looking absolutely fantastic. On the side, we again have Sunraku in the gaming letters, and on the top, Sunraku in the gaming letters. And here is the figure. But real quick, before we jump into the review of this boy, I'm gonna ask you guys, I don't expect this video to do very well, so please, if you enjoy the video, please go down and leave it a like. I would very much appreciate it. But of course, only leave a like if you genuinely enjoyed the video. The like button is there to award a video that entertained you, that helped improve your day. And if this video fails to do that, then it does not deserve a like. But with that being said, here is Sunraku, aka Rakuro Hizutome, out of the package. So, want to really quickly explain this character, because I'm sure most of you out there probably haven't watched the show. I would really recommend checking the show out. Season 1 again, it was an absolute banger, and Season 2 is airing right now, and I can't wait till I get to watch it. But to quickly explain the deal with this character, because obviously this is a pretty crazy character design you're seeing right now, this character is actually the avatar of Rakuro Hizutome, which is the player of the game Shangri-La Frontier. The show Shangri-La Frontier is actually about a video game called Shangri-La Frontier, and the characters in the show are actually in the game, and this is his avatar. And this bird head that you see here is actually a mask. It is not actually his head. This is a cosmetic that you can put on in the game, and he wears it. And you actually never see the actual face of his avatar in the show. You see bits and pieces of it, but you never see his full-on face. And with that being said, let's get in on the sculpt and the details on this. And starting off with the bird head, it looks fantastic, man. You have the nice red eyes right there, picked out super duper nicely. The beak, really nicely done. You can see the separation between the beak, the bottom jaw, and the upper jaw. Of course, it's a mask, so do keep that in mind. You got the little tufts of hair sticking up at the top right here. Really cool, and all the little feathers right here. This is a floating piece right here, so this piece will jiggle around when you pick him up, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I've had this figure for a few days now, and I've had an absolute blast posing him around. This doesn't really get in the way at all. I will say there's a couple of things about this figure that I think are minor issues, but overall, it's pretty much just another absolute home run for SH Figuarts. But again, where's the fun in just saying that? Let's get back to the review and move down to his torso right here, and you can see he's shirtless, and we have the Lycagon curse right here. So again, to explain what's going on here with this character design, this right here, all this like red markings right here, is actually called the Lycagon's curse, and this curse makes it so he cannot equip any armor or anything to these sections of his body, to his torso, his arms, or his legs. Yeah, it's a really big deal. Shangri-La Frontier is an extremely difficult video game, and everything that you see right here, he is completely unable to equip any armor or equipment to whatsoever. So that's why he's shirtless right here. Of course, they didn't want to make it, obviously they wanted him wearing pants, of course, so we're good on the pants right there. We just have some nice shorts right here with a nice belt, beautiful silver paint picked out on that belt, and then you have the nice little straps going around to his butt right there. Again, really, really nice. You can see like the buckles right there. It's just super, super duper nice right there. Very discreet joints right here. Of course, that's SH Figuarts specialty. On the back, you can see the continuation of the Lycagon's curse right there. Really, really, really cool. And then moving down to the legs, you have some really nice sculpting right here for the calves right here. And then the toes, we actually have a pair of bare feet right there. For all of you Quentin Tarantinos out there, I'm not a feet guy personally. I don't understand it, but I know people exist, but yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm pretty used to seeing toes, obviously, me being a gigantic Naruto fan and me loving the SH Figuarts Naruto line, but I'm not really used to seeing full bare feet on an action figure, but they're fine, and they're actually, you can see, they are actually sculpted to where, you can see, they are actually sculpted with the ridge right there, and when you stand him up, you can see when he's standing up, you can actually see that he stands like a person would stand. You can see the heels are touching the ground, the toes are touching the ground, but the middle section of his foot is actually not. You can see back there as well. There's actually the arc right there to the foot, which I thought was a really nice touch. Now getting into the articulation, it's very nice. At the bird mask right here, he can actually get a really good amount of up right there due to a beautiful double ball peg in the head right there. Also a ton of down as well. You get some side to side, and I really, really love this joint right here because this allows it to, so if you bring his head forward, you can also use this joint to bring his head straight back up right there, which really allows you to get him in those awesome dynamic poses when you actually bring in his dagger. So really, really good posability in the head right there. Moving down to the torso, we're going to be talking about the first flaw with this figure in just a second here, but we'll start off with the arms, which are definitely an amazing, amazing pair of arms for an SH Figuarts figure. We actually have a beautiful butterfly right here with not just the ball joint going in there, so allowing for that, but we do also have a full-on butterfly joint that comes out of the torso right there as well. I can clearly see that the person who made this figure was a fan of the show and the series because they really put a ton of time and work into making this figure very, very well refined. And the fact that it's most likely going to be the only character that we get from this series, it really makes me happy. I will say, though, I would love a Pencil Knight and a Katsu. Just throwing it out there. But really, really, really well done right here. And then you also have your swivel right here at the arm. You have a full double jointed bend. You don't get quite all the way up, but personally, I think this is acceptable. I just take issue with double elbows when they get anything less than like this. Like, that's how much Sakura can get. And if you can get at least to here, I think it's acceptable. Obviously, I will say there's not really any reason for this to not get a full double jointed elbow, and I will even show you this. So the top joint right there of this double elbow stops there. You can't push it any more than that, but you can clearly see there's still some space right there. So it's the sculpting of the arm that's getting in the way there of giving you that full elbow right there. But it's fine. He can pretty much get anything that you want. Although because he is a very active character with his daggers, it would have been nice if it could have fully got up there because then you could do a bunch of really, really cool cross poses. Not to say you can't do that, but they're just not going to be as good as if you were able to fully bend them up. But these are really, really good arms. I've blown this way out of proportion, honestly. The hand pegs are fantastic on this figure. They're not quite Luffy level, but they're really, really nice. You can see we have a very small ball. We have a very small peg going into a ball joint right here, and these are super nice, and I've had absolutely no problem. I've played with this figure quite a bit, posted him around a whole lot, and these things are holding up absolutely beautifully. And you can see these allow for obviously side to side, or you can rotate it and get up and down right there as well, which is really amazing because of course he has his daggers. So yeah, really beautiful job on the arms right here. Now the torso is unfortunately where we have our first flaw with this figure because he unfortunately suffers from the same problem as, yes, the Kaiju number 8 officer figures. This section of his torso right here is an extremely stiff piece of plastic that does not allow for any crunch forward. And it really sucks. Honestly, I'm getting tired of this. This might be like the only thing that SHF really needs to work on with their figures because honestly this is damn near the only flaw with this figure, and it really does suck because just like with the officer figures, they just can't really pull off those amazing poses. They almost can, but you can see like this pose I have Reno in right now. Imagine if I could just get that torso up a little bit more. It would be so much better. And yes, he suffers from the same problem. But just like with the Kaiju number 8 figures, you do get a lot of back movement right there, which does allow for some good pose, especially when you combined it with the head right there. I will say one really cool thing that I would have liked if this figure had was a hinged jaw. So with this character, obviously this being a mask, the jaw doesn't open when he's like screaming. He's just screaming underneath the mask. But in the show, he does open the beak in order to eat food and whatnot and drink potions boards and shit. So it would have been cool if this was on a hinge that you could bring down, because I'll spoil this real quick. The faces, the alternate faces, you actually take the beak off to change the faces. You can see the slit right there where they change, and you have to put the beak on. So they could have just put one hinge in there and allowed this to open up, and you could have used it across all the faces. Would have been a nice touch, but no dice right there. But again, getting back to this, you do also have some really, really good side to side right here. You can see you can get a good amount right there. And of course, a beautiful ankle swivel, not ankle swivel, torso swivel right there. And you can also use this as well. So you get a little bit of side to side with that top joint as well. Overall, the torso section is really, really, really good. But again, this super stiff plastic thing, this just needs to stop. Like, look at Naruto right here. Why are we able to get this articulation on Naruto, but not on the Kaiju number 8 officers or Sunraku here? Like, I don't really understand what the difference is between these two systems right here. Like, they look virtually identical, yet this one just can't get that same articulation. Very unfortunate. Please work on this SHF. It's one of the only things that's holding back your figures from being basically perfect, honestly. Moving down to the legs right here, we do have the other minor issue that I have with this figure, and that is that his legs are a little looser than I personally would like. It does not take much to move the legs. Now, they're still very good. I've been playing with this figure like crazy the last couple days, and they're still very, very good. They hold him up no problem. You can see he's even like leaning forward right now, and he's still holding up just fine, but these legs are a little bit loose for my liking. I will say this was also the case with my Boruto, and I just put a little bit of Kiki's in there, and that fixed him right up. So I'm probably going to do the same with Sunraku once I finish recording this review probably. So with the legs, you have full up right there. I will say it's a little bit less than 90, but he can still get some pretty good sitting down poses, but you are going to have to work with it a little bit more than your usual SH Figuarts figure right there, but still really good, and he doesn't have any drop downs either, so yeah. And then of course we have the, also I do want to show, we have the outward leg right there. I often forget to show this, so I'm glad I remembered this time. And then of course we have the usual SH Figuarts leg articulation with the ball joint right here at the calf, which allows you to get some in and out right there and some swivel right there. I can't stress enough how much I really, really like it. I just think it's a really, really good extra piece of engineering for SH Figuarts figures. Moving down to the knees right here, we have a full double jointed band, and Robo would absolutely love this figure because he can kick his own birdie boy ass, even though he's not actually a bird. He is just a dude in a mask. But yes, you do have a full double jointed bend at the knee, which is beautiful and allows for some really, really, really great poses right there. And the feet, you can go up, down, ankle pivot, and a beautiful toe joint right there. Pretty much perfect, honestly. Aside from the torso movement and maybe a little bit of extra leg movement, I think the articulation is pretty much just S tier across the board. But because of that torso articulation, I'm gonna have to bring it down to like like an A, probably just a solid A. I don't want to make this like a new thing for my reviews, like torso, like articulation rating, but I feel like I wanted to point it out for this because he literally could have been an absolutely perfect figure to pose around if it just wasn't for this weird torso thing that they just keep doing for some reason. But with that being said, let's get into the comparisons and start off with comparing him with some other SH Figuarts lines. Here is Sunraku compared to Itachi Uchiha and Sasuke Uchiha. Here he is compared to Luffy and Naruto. Knowing Luffy's dumbass, he'd probably try to eat this dude. Here he is with Kaiju number 8 and Kaiju number 9. Here he is with Frieren and Fern. And lastly, here he is with my previous review, the amazing Yamaguchi Dabi. Go check that out if you haven't already. Fantastic figure. And lastly, here he is with the amazing Yamaguchi satellite shooting star Yusei Fudo and the JoJo Super Action statue Giorno Giovanna and Gappy. And with that being said, it's time for my favorite part of the review, the accessories. And the accessories for this figure are pretty fucking awesome, so let's jump into it. And as always, we'll begin with the alternate faces. So as I've already said in this video, this guy's alternate faces are a little bit different from your average SH Figuarts. You have the seam right here for the hair, and you just need to pop that whole thing out. And then we actually need to take his beak off of this face, which just comes right out right there. It's actually a lot more solid on some of the other faces, so yeah, it's a little bit loose on this one, but not a big deal. I haven't really had it like fall out without me wanting it to, but yes, you pop this out, and now talking about the other faces, we get a defiant face right here. So this is a little bit more of like an angry face. You can see the eyes are a little thinner right there, and his brow is a little bit more furrowed right there. So yeah, it is a mask, so the expression isn't like super different because again, the mouth would be underneath this because it's just a mask. The jaw wouldn't obviously open, but yes, very, very nice face right here. I've used this one quite a lot. Then we have a nice, happy, satisfied face right here. Very, very, very fun. And then these last two are kind of comedic faces. We get kind of a puzzled expression right here, which I really, really, really like. You can see like the sweat bubble right there. He's kind of nervous. I very, very much like this face. I've been having a lot of fun with it. But by far my favorite face is this face right here, which is just absolutely fucking hilarious. I've had him displayed with this so much. It speaks for itself. It's pretty freaking amazing. And of course, when we want to, all we need to do is just pop the new face that we want on right there. And there we go. Now we can have Sunraku all very, very, very confused as to what he is witnessing right now. Really, really, really awesome. Great array of faces, in my opinion. Moving on to the hands, of course, we have fists on in the packaging. And we have a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of flat kind of karate chop hands, a pair of dagger holding hands, a pair of pointing hands, and a pair of thumbs up hands. I really, really love the addition of the pointing finger hands and the thumbs up hands. However, I will briefly say that these are unfortunately not going to be compatible with your other SH Figuarts figures because of the unique pegs with this figure. But on that note, in order to change the hands, all you need to do is just pop them off of the peg. And again, they're very, very nice and sturdy. And you just pop on whichever one you want to. And we'll just go ahead and give him a thumbs up hand right here, just so you can see the very fun array of expressions that you can get with this figure, and why I think it is a really, really, really fun pickup. Maybe you don't even have to really be a fan of the show. It is just kind of a goofy looking character to have in your collection, but watch the show. You'll want the figure. I can pretty much guarantee it. Once you see a certain fight in this show about midway through, you'll know it when you get to it. Trust me. Yeah, you'll want this thing. You know what? I'm gonna quickly say something about the show, because I highly doubt I'm ever really gonna get another chance to talk about this show. I highly doubt we're gonna get any more characters from this. I wanted to say something about it that I really, really, really loved. So, one thing about it, of course, the whole show is taking place in a game, basically. Not 100%, it does flash back to the real world, and it's really, really fun, because it flashes back to the real world with the actual character, Rakuro Hizutome, and he even goes into some of the other games that he plays, and he has, like, different avatars. It's really, really fun. I really, really like this show. But one thing I truly loved about this show was how they seamlessly made it like a video game anime, to where you have this boss fight, because this fight I've been talking about this whole video, that's like one of the best fights I've seen in recent anime, is a boss fight. And it's so cool because the boss fight it's like 4 episodes long. It's like a 4-episode long fight. And throughout the fight, you constantly hear the boss say like a line, and he says like the same line over and over and over again, but like it makes you think like it's a video game. The boss is saying the line that he says before his attack. It's really, really, really cool. And then you also have like a moment where the boss is like transitioning to another phase where it's like untouchable, and it's like, and you're like, oh, it's a cutscene. It's supposed to be like a cutscene in the game, but it's still seamlessly still just an anime. It's really cool, man. Just watch it. It's a really cool show. Okay, I just really wanted to get that out there because I just really, really love that about this show. I just thought that was so cool. So, with that being said, now let's move on to the final part of his accessories, which is probably the coolest part. Alright, so I've got Sunraku here with his dagger holding hands and his defiant face, because you guessed it, we're gonna be talking about some weapons now. So in Shangri-La Frontier, Sunraku's character class is Twin Blade Mercenary, so he fights with 2 daggers. And we get a total of 4 daggers with this figure, starting off with the Vorpal dagger right here. So this is the first dagger that he gets in the game aside from his starting dagger, and it is a rare drop from a Vorpal bunny. And it's very, very, very cool. As you can see right here, you got the nice red right there. Really, really nicely done, man. Beautiful job on this. But honestly, I'd say they did an even better job on the Marsh dagger. Absolutely gorgeous job right here. You can see the lines right here for the blade right here, and this is one that he gets pretty early on in the show. I wouldn't say this is one of the more powerful daggers that he gets, but it is a really cool that you get these. Now, I will say you only get 1 of each of these, and if you watch the show, he has 2 of each of these. I will say though, if you wanted to, if you love this character in this show that much, you could buy 2 of this Sunraku figure, and then you'd have 2 of each of these, so you would be able to have him dual wielding those. But most most likely the reason why they only gave you one of each of these is because they also give you, they probably expected you to display him with this last pair of daggers. You get the moon daggers, the waxing and the waning moon daggers right here. And these are beautifully done. I actually want to get in here on these because they're really, really nicely done. You can see the blade right there attached to the handle right there, the nice crack in the blade. And then you have the nice little tassel right here. You can see the section right here is actually where they're going to separate for you to put them in his hand right here. And then we have the white one right here as well. Very, very, very cool. I will also say this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. There's a combination of these two. These two weapons can combine together, and it would have been really cool if they could have included that as well. But that's all I will say, because I really do want, if you guys haven't checked this out, I really do want you guys to check this show out, and I don't want to spoil anything major for you. But yes, these two daggers do combine together in the show. Now, in order to give him his daggers, of course, it's very, very simple. You just give him the holding hands right there, and you can just slip the daggers in right there. So you can give him the Vorpal dagger on that side, and of course, you can either put them in like normal, or you can slip them in upside down, all Michael Myers-like, and have him holding them like that. So you have that option right there, and you can really, really get some really, really, really fantastic poses with these. I really, really love these. Again, if you really wanted to, you could buy two, and you get two of each of, and then you would have two of each of these. But they are very, very, very nice in my opinion. But in order to give him the moon daggers, because I'm sure most people who buy this figure are going to display him with the moon daggers, you just need to separate him at the handle right here, and then just pop it into the hand right there, and then put the other piece back on right there. Don't put it on backwards though, like I just did. There we go. Put it on just like that. Is that on right? Yes, there you go. So there you have him with the moon dagger one, and of course just do the same thing on the other side, and there you have him with his moon daggers right there. These are really, really, really nicely done. Like I said, I'm sure most people will probably display him with these. I gotta be honest though, I actually think I've been displaying him a little bit more with the other daggers right there, but these are very, very cool, and you really can get some pretty amazing poses out of him using the articulation. Again though, that extra torso movement would have gone a long, long way, but yeah, still really, really, really nice. Now, real quick before we jump into the final thoughts, I do very briefly want to take a few seconds to say I would have really liked it if they could have included a few more accessories, namely the other helmet that he wears, because that would have allowed for an entire another display option, like a whole different look for the character. The other helmet that he wears, it would have been really, really, really cool if they included that as well. And they also could have included a few more of the daggers that he uses. He uses quite a few more daggers than the ones that are included, but I do think that these are a really good array of daggers that you get with the figure. And it would have been cooler. It would be obviously nicer if we knew about more potential characters from this line, but judging by the fact that it's probably pretty likely we won't get any more characters from this line, because if there was more characters coming, we could be like, maybe they'll include it in DLC packs down the road, like they've been doing with damn near all of their lines recently, including DLC accessories for other figures, which I really love. I love that. I think that's just an awesome thing, and I really hope they keep doing it, but unfortunately, we're probably not going to get any more of the characters from this, which is unfortunate, because I would have really loved to get Pencil Knight and Katso as well. Katso's actually my favorite character. Of course he is. If you don't know, Katso's voiced by Brittany Karbowski, who is the English voice actor of Rimuru in Tensora. So yeah, I'm kind of biased towards him, but I did genuinely really like his character, and I grew to really like Pencil Knight as well. So it would have been cool if we got both those. And I will also say, I know a lot of people who bought this figure are saying that he should have came with Emil, a little Emil figure. I will say this: if you love this show and this character that much, and you really want an Emil to go with him, you might be able to dig around and find like a gachapon of Emil, like a tiny Emil figure that you might be able to put alongside him. Now, I'll be honest, I really liked Emil at first, but around the midpoint of the series, I started to kind of fall out of love with her. I kind of thought she got a little bit annoying. So I haven't really looked into it at all. I might someday, maybe, because like season 2 is airing right now, obviously. I'll watch season 2 eventually, and maybe I'll want to get more stuff from this show after I watch season 2, but at the moment I haven't really looked into it, but there might be an option out there if you look into it. Not saying 100% that there is, but there might be. But I will admit, it would have been really cool to get a little Emil, or even one that could hook onto his shoulder or something. That would have been a really, really nice touch. But with that being said, let's jump into the final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Sunraku. So final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Sunraku. Honestly, what the hell are you focusing on, camera? Stop that. Focus on the bird. Honestly, I think he's pretty fantastic. Man, SHF are just on an absolute rampage right now, delivering amazing figures left, right, and center, and this figure is no exception. If you're a fan of the series, I'd say this is an absolute must-buy. It is absolutely freaking amazing. I love it. I honestly love it. It's such a fun figure. Yeah, it's just really good, man. SHF are just really, really, really good right now. These days, I can pretty much just say, if you buy an SHF, there's like a 85% chance it's gonna be a really great figure. Yeah, man, it's great. Aside from those couple tiny little flaws that I pointed out earlier, like the slightly loose legs, which honestly at this point I don't even think think is even really that bad. I've been posing and playing with this figure a ton. The legs are not bad at all. I wouldn't actually put that in the final negative category. The only real negative with them is the same one that a lot of the Kaiju number 8 figures suffer from, that stiff torso. Really, they really need to stop that. Hopefully next year we can see the end of that. But aside from that, that's pretty much everything that I could even remotely nitpick about this figure. Everything else about it is pretty much perfect. Articulation across the board is fantastic. Plastic quality, as usual for SH Figuarts, is fantastic. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Probably the nicest feeling figures in the industry right now. Bang for your buck is fantastic. Maybe they could have included a second Vorpal and Marsh Dagger, but even then, honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. I really love the Moon Daggers as the primary weapons for him, and the Marsh Dagger and Vorpal Dagger are just kind of an extra little thing that you get right there. It's really cool. The range of expressions is really nice. The range of hands is really nice. Love the thumbs up and the pointing hands as well. The range of expressions, as I said, is really awesome. I love this one and this one right here, these really comedic faces, and of course, you also get that option for that more defiant face, or even, I haven't used this one like at all with my displays, but the happy one as well. Just tons and tons of options to use with him. If you had like a controller, like a little 112 controller accessory, this would be so cool to have him like with that. I might have to be on the lookout with this. And if anybody knows like a figure that comes with like a 112 controller accessory, let me know in the comments. That would be really awesome. But with that being said, yeah, I think the figure's fantastic. I'm gonna award this figure an S tier. I think it's absolutely freaking fantastic. And again, if you love the series, I think it's a must-buy. So, there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like, subscribe for some more anime action figure reviews in the future, and let me know your thoughts on both this figure as well as Shangri-La Frontier in the comment section down below, and let me know what your thought is on, if you've seen the show. For the few of you who have seen the show, dude, let me know what you thought about that fucking fight, because I really would love to talk to someone about that fight, because that shit was insane. So, yeah, throw a comment down below and we'll chat about it. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. This is DK Guillotine, signing out. What are you looking at, buddy?